So guys, last week the Hell Let Loose dev team gave us our first look at the next map they're bringing to the game, Purple Heart Lane. And well, in a brand new dev briefing yesterday, they not only gave us a ton more info on this one, but also a heap of screenshots as well. So guys, this is BillyEatWorld again, and let's find out. Alright guys, welcome to the video, and like I said, this week we're going to be talking about Purple Heart Lane, which is another new map set in Normandy, France, focused on the Battle of Carentan. And more specifically, it's actually modelled on a section of the highway called N13, which was the site of a fierce battle between the US and German forces just after D-Day. Now, the reason why this one is called Purple Heart Lane is because the Purple Heart is the medal given to US casualties, and, well, after this battle, there were sadly a lot of them given out. For example, one of the most heartbreaking stories from this battle is the story of a US officer called Lieutenant Colonel Robert Cole, who led a charge of about 400 men head-on into enemy artillery fire, of which about 118 ended up getting killed. So the question is then, why did the devs choose to focus on this story? And well, it's apparently because they were inspired by the Forgotten Hope 2 mod for Battlefield 2. And according to the post, this map is, quote, an homage to the map from that mod, which kind of proves something I've been saying for a while now, that Hell Let Loose is kind of like a spiritual successor to those older Battlefield games. Now, as for when we're actually going to see it in this game though, well, according to the devs, it'll be launching with the next major update, Update 5. And according to the most recent roadmap, that should be sometime in early Feb, which, look, might not actually be accurate considering that there is meant to be another smaller patch before that comes out, which still hasn't been released yet. Now, in any case, whenever it does come out, what's Purple Heart Lane gonna be like anyway? Well, firstly, you're going to notice from these screenshots that it's aesthetically going to be pretty similar to a lot of the other French maps already in the game. And I mean, that's kind of a bit disappointing, right? But I mean, I get it. They take place in the same part of the world. But what I will say is that the main difference seems to be that the layout of the map is unique in its own little way. The main difference being that Purple Heart Lane is focused around 4 bridges that act like choke points, and not just that, but there's rivers and streams that you'll have to cross as well. And from the looks of these screenshots, there also seems to be a lot of abandoned fortifications too, so hopefully that's going to make it a little bit more than just another generic French map. Now, also another important bit of info I should mention, especially considering the fact this looks like it is going to be more of a linear style map, is that it will be launching with both warfare and offensive modes. And at least to begin with, the attackers on offensive will be the US team, because like I said before, the most well-known engagement of this battle is obviously Cole's charge that we spoke about earlier. Now, with that being said, we don't have any info yet on whether or not we're going to be getting a German offensive preset for this map or not, but generally speaking, I would say that the devs do that sort of thing only if it makes sense. And look, I'm really not that deep with the history of this battle, but what I do know is that it does seem like the Germans were on the defensive for most of the time, in which case it probably doesn't make sense, and that probably means we might not get a German offensive preset on this particular map. Now, unfortunately, that's really the extent of what we have on this map so far. We don't have a tactical map or anything like that yet, so we really don't know how this map is going to play out. And look, obviously, it does seem like there's some interesting stuff going on here, but obviously, like I said before, it does seem to be one of those cut and copy French maps like we've seen already. And also, whenever I hear the words choke point, especially in a game like this, I get pretty worried. Because, I mean, when you think about maps like Foy or Omaha Beach, which do funnel players down very predictable lanes, you can see this game really doesn't do well with that sort of gameplay. The time to kill is just way too fast, and there's way too many MGs. And obviously, it's especially bad when you're playing on offensive, where 50 players on the defensive team are usually all camped in close proximity, gunning down basically anything that moves. And look, with that being said, I know it is kind of stupid to judge a map without even playing it in-game, but I just think that we're at this point now where I've seen enough Normandy maps and I'm kind of ready for something a bit new. And not just that, but it seems like this map isn't like St. Mary-Eglise, which is a CQB map, which we really needed. This one is a choke point map, which I don't think we need at all. And so, look, I just really hope that in the last few weeks, the dev team has to polish this one up. They really take the time to make it completely different from the other French maps and look at some of the other balancing issues that some of the other maps have got. And, you know, add in enough flanking routes if they haven't already done that, so that the battle isn't completely focused on the bridges, because if it is, I don't really think that's going to be something I'm too into. But anyway, guys, that just about wraps up this quick update video. So as always, make sure you let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And of course, just remember that I can't possibly cover every last detail in just one video. So as always, I'll leave a link to the full dev briefing in the description so you can check that out. As always, though, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please feel free to check out the links in the description if you want to see any more of these videos. And also, don't forget you can find my Twitter and Discord links down there as well if you want to keep in touch. And as always, until next time, see you later, and have a good one.